19 minutes past 8 now, when one of Britain's most successful Olympians, Sir Chris Hoy, was diagnosed with terminal prostate cancer. He decided to raise awareness and help others.
Last year, he launched Tour de Four, a mass participation cycling event, raising funds for cancer charities. Thousands took part, including Sir Andy Murray, Dame Sarah Storey and Sir Mark Cavendish, and more than £3 million was raised.
Well, this year, he's doing it again, with Tour de Four returning on Sunday, the 6th of September. Let's have a look back at last year's event.
3, 2, 1, and you are gone, and we have got Sir Chris Hoy trying to clip it, and he
Look at these people riding their bikes, celebrating life. Uplifting, wonderful, a celebration. The event made a difference to people's lives. A number of people I spoke to who had been diagnosed similar time to me. They saw this event and said, this is what I'm going to focus on. I'm going to try and get fit enough to ride a bike. Some people, you know, who had significant challenges to get on a bike came down and did the yellow ride, which was on a static bike in the track centre. Just wanted to be part and to be punching back and to say, I'm going to be participating, I'm going to take part. I'm not going to lie down and let this take over my life. I'm going to fight back. You know what that feels like, because you're going through it too. I'm so privileged to have this opportunity to make a difference. I don't take it for granted.
give it up for Sir Chris Hoy!
We've got... Do you expect us to introduce you like that? Give it up for Sir Chris! Why? Is that what you want? Welcome back to the sofa. Alongside Laura Price and Alan Richmond, who both took part in the event last year. Welcome. Welcome all.
Thank you.
How excited are you?
Super excited. Yeah, the entry opens at noon today, so it's going to be bigger and better than last year, and great to see two of our fellow riders from last year to sort of help us with the launch.
And we'll hear from Laura and Alan in a moment, but it's open to a lot of people to be able to participate in many different ways. Just explain.
Yes, it's a mass participation cycle ride, but it is very much inclusive. It's for everybody. You don't have to have a fancy bike and all the gear.
Or an Olympic medal.
Or an Olympic medal, or 6.
Just you hold that one in there.
But it genuinely, you know, last year was wonderful. There's a red route, which is 50 miles. There's a 30-mile loop. There's a 1K loop for families that you can do multiple laps on. And we have static bikes inside the velodrome that you can book in for a 20-minute ride or even just a 1-minute ride. So it's for people like all of us who are, you know, going through treatment, who are living with cancer, that can stand up and say, I can still be part of this, I can still be involved, I can have a goal to work towards. And the Tour de Four is all about changing perceptions of stage 4 cancer.
Laura, Alan, morning to you as well. Morning. Why did you get involved?
Well, so my story is a little bit different from Alan and Chris's. So I was actually diagnosed with cancer 14 years ago with breast cancer. And then I kind of got into this mindset that life might not be forever and I should do everything that I want to do in life now. So for 10 years, I did that. And then 4 years ago, 10 years after my initial diagnosis, I found out that the cancer had come back and spread to my bones, to my sternum bone, and was then incurable. So with the same mindset, I was like, you know, I want to continue doing stuff. I want to continue exercising, keeping fit, which we know helps keep cancer away. And I've been incredibly lucky to have drugs that are working and are still working. And then I saw Chris's diagnosis, Sir Chris, sorry.
Call me Chris.
And the Tour de Four was announced. And I thought, that sounds brilliant. I support breast cancer now. And and it's an event that supports all stage 4 cancers, not just prostate cancer. So yeah, I got involved, and it was amazing.
Alan?
Well, I was diagnosed in 2017, and at the time was told, actually, there's not a great deal we can do. It's metastasised, it's in your bones, your spine, your ribs, your collarbone, your pelvis, and you've got a lymph node lesion as well. We can give you a bit of chemo, and we might get you on a clinical trial. And then within about 3 days, that all changed. And the regime changed, and I was put on upfront chemotherapy with a hormone injection every month. And that sat on it. It suppresses testosterone, which is the thing really that feeds the cancer. And I was fine and for about 7 years, but we spoke last night. I'm target-led. So I met the guy originally. He said, you've got about 18 months to go home and have a drink. Thank you very much. And then I met this wonderful lady, Kate Linton, a urologist, and her team, and she said, I'll tell you now, she said, 50% of the men in your metastasised prostate cancer condition will still be here in 5 years. So that's a straw that I clutched on. Went past the 5 years, went back and said, so what have you got for me now? And she said, I haven't got anything. It's like, oh, great, borrowed time. Right, targets, what's next? I'm going to beat my dad, because he died at 64. Yeah. I'm 66 next week. Next week. What's after that? Then this bloke called Sir Chris Hoy decided he was going to run a cycling challenge. Right, I'm going to stay fit enough and well enough as a target to do the ride. And I did. And then we're here again to talk about the new one.
And that's the thing, Chris, isn't it? There's a common theme here, clearly, but everyone's got a different story about why they're doing it, what the motivation is for doing it, and that's why this brings everyone together.
It does, and I think the common feeling at last year's event was that this was a place to belong. When you get given a diagnosis like we all have, it's very isolating. You feel like you're the only person in the world going through that in that moment. But sadly, that's not the case. But this was a place to celebrate life. There was no glumness. There weren't people walking around talking about cancer and being scared of it or just being fearful of it. This was a celebration, and it was so uplifting. And people meeting, making new friends, making new contacts. We'll see you next year at the same place. And the support was incredible along the roads from Glasgow up into the Campsies, all the little towns and villages, people coming out, cheering all the riders on.
In the rain.
In the rain, because it affects everybody. Everybody knows somebody who's going through it, even if you're not yourself. Somebody is that's close to you. So it touches everybody. And this is a chance to raise funds. We raised £3.1 million through the whole event. And that money makes a difference. It really does. And we can already see there are new treatments in prostate cancer. Certainly, there's been a recent announcement, new trial drugs, which are having significant impacts on men in our situation. And it's important. Every single pound that's raised makes a difference. But just as important as that, I think changing perceptions and awareness and giving people hope, because you've got to find your hope. When you're given the worst possible news, you have to carve out that hope for yourself.
You've been really clear about that from the moment you kind of told world that of your diagnosis. And I wonder, Laura, if you could pick up on this, because there is that thing that when you say you have cancer, I haven't had to do it, but obviously if someone says you have, I've got cancer, the head tilt, the look, the inevitable question, how long, that someone tries to get. And actually, this is a different narrative. It is, cancer is being tackled. There is a hell of a lot of research. Some people are cured, some people aren't. But there is still life to live, and that is what this is about.
Yeah, I mean, a stage 4 diagnosis is very different from that primary diagnosis, and I've had both. And often when you say you're a cancer patient, people expect you to have bald head and look really ill. But often people with stage 4 cancer don't have a bald head because chemotherapy is often given at the very beginning or at the very end of cancer treatment. So we look like normal people. We are normal people. We're currently doing well, and we're well enough to exercise. And I think, so for me, the Tour de Four raises loads and loads of money for stage 4 cancers, but it also raises awareness. And one of the things that we're talking about, and which I think you do so brilliantly, Chris, is to show that stage 4 cancer diagnosis is not necessarily a terminal diagnosis. it is an incurable diagnosis, but that doesn't mean imminent death. And those who are lucky will have time. And whilst you have that time, you can use that time to do sport, keep yourself happy, travel if you can, do the things that you want to do with your life. And what I love about the event, I'm part of the breast cancer community. I actually host the Breast Cancer Now podcast. So I know lots of people with breast cancer, but I sometimes feel more sort of affinity with you because you've got stage 4 cancer than I do with someone who has had breast cancer and been cured, because we, the three of us, get what it's like to be told that you're always going to have this and your life just goes in so many different ways, and you just have to, you get this newfound way of dealing with life and just making the most of what you've got, don't you?
You do. And I think, picking up on what Alan said earlier on, when you're given the worst possible news, you have to confront that immediately, and you're given this is the worst case scenario. But you also have to consider the best case scenario, and you want to find out, well, what's the longest that anybody's lived with this same diagnosis. So then you get an idea of the spectrum of where it might sit on this. And hope is what it's all about, because none of us know how long we're going to be here for. And that's not a morbid thing. It's just bringing it back to the here and the now, appreciating the moment, appreciating life. And, you want to have goals, you want to have targets, you want to have things to look forward to in the future. But don't forget to live for the now as well.
I always say, spend your health as well as your wealth.
It's a great motto. Listen,
Really
Greg
important.
James is cycling at the moment on a big challenge for Comic Relief. Any tip? Are you a good cyclist?
Probably be known as the fat lad at the back.
Right, but fat lad at the back who got a bit of oomph and determination.
I think it's the determination, the motivation to keep going, because he knows he's got a target to
There you
reach.
go. Yeah, because you're target-led. Laura, quick.
It's all in the mind.
Yeah.
So, Chris, now, Geraint Thomas went on the back of Greg James's bike.
Yeah.
And he said it was like a booster rocket.
Well, there you go. That's the tip I was going to give. Get someone decent on the back of your tandem. That's for any tandem pairing. Get someone stronger than you in the back.
Do you not just add weight?
Well, it's power to weight, isn't it? And if you're heavy, then the downhills are even faster. So.
There you go. So you need a powerful, big person on the back of the bike.
And preferably be going downhill.
And
Yes,
go downhill.
yes.
Yeah, other than that, it's dead easy. Alan, Laura, Sir Chris Hoy. Chris.
Thank you.
It's lovely having you with us on the
It's
sofa.
been an
Good
absolute
luck.
honour and a privilege to be on the sofa
Enjoy
with
this
that
Tour
man.
de Force in September and the weather, hopefully.
And it's 12 o'clock today. The entry's open.
Yes. And if you want a reminder of last year's event, you can watch it. It's called Sir Chris Hoy, Cancer, Courage and Me, and it's on the BBC iPlayer right now.